And I will tell you, like, the best skill in the world you can develop for the rest of your life is to be able to manage those conflicts of interest in a relationship, rather than shutting down and saying your way is wrong and my way is right, or I'm not going to do this anymore.
Go in another direction, because that's always going to happen.
Yeah. So but at the same time, I would say I wouldn't also get hung up on meeting someone in my 20s who I expect to be with for the rest of my life either. Because that puts this enormous pressure on things too. Like, oh, if this isn't working out, and what's it going to be like when we're 40 together? And it's like, just slow down. Work it one step at a time. What do I need? What do they need? What do we need together? How can I support? I mean, I think the best relationship are two independent people who support each other to be independent people in a relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where I think a lot of open relationships, the tendency to be in an open relationship comes from, where you want to be independent, and because in your 20s you're still exploring. You could be with a person based on what you are on that day, but later on when you grow up, you may not want to be with the same person. That happens a lot, and that's why we go through breakups and divorces and extramarital affairs as well.
I mean, monogamy is not necessarily the one way to do a relationship, and I think it can be harmful to a lot of people. Having said that, people do open relationships in really harmful ways too.
For sure.
So it's not the model.
What do you need?
Because sometimes an open relationship is what he needs and not what she needs, or the other. It's usually that way, but sometimes it's the other way around too. So how you do an open relationship is crucial. You do have to have rules or guidelines. It needs to be discussed. It needs to be honest, because in an open relationship, the biggest crime is a lie. I mean, the biggest crime is a lie in lots of relationships. But it's like, if I'm going to trust you to make decisions out there, then I need to know what's going on between us. So how you do an open relationship is really, really important. And if you need that, and the other person doesn't need that, then there's got to be a compromise. Something's got to shift.
What kind of fears people will experience in an open relationship, or transitioning from? First thing, why would somebody want to transition from monogamy to polygamy?
I mean,
could be
lots
the
of
symptoms or reasons.
I mean, so there's a difference between, say, an open relationship and a polyamorous relationship. So you might have an open relationship where you say, well, we love each other, but, when I'm out of town, I might want to have sex with someone. Or there's this person at work I really fancy, and I'd like to have sex with them, but there's no love involved. And people have all sorts of rules, like it can only happen once. You can't always...
All sorts of different kinds of boundaries and limits.
That's right. Which doesn't mean you can't prevent somebody from falling for somebody else. I mean, that's the risk. But the risk in being monogamous is that you fancy someone out there, and then you feel sad, like you're sacrificing that you can't have it, or you have an affair. So none of these are... You don't get out of jail free.
There we go. There's no...
there's no free ride. Even in an fully open relationship, there's no free ride, because there will still be envy, there will still be jealousy. And when that comes up, you have to be respectful.
But does it help to be in an open relationship if
you're of the personality for it? You really have to. You both have to be. If it's what you need and what they need. Polyamory is a bit different. That's when it's not just about sex anymore, but there's also love involved. So again, that gets very complex very quickly. You have 3 people involved. There's 3 people's needs to look after. And the needs of the 3 of you.
That's crazy. And it could be different in a gay relationship versus a heterosexual relationship. It could even get even more complex when it's heterosexual. And
I think that's true. I mean, gay men in particular have a much longer history of negotiating these kinds of relationships. And they do them in different ways, and they don't always do them in the best ways. But again, even for gay men, sometimes monogamy is the way to go if that's what suits you both. Or people open it for a while and they close it, or there's a crisis and it's open and they renegotiate something. It's about being honest.